we will talk about the first method that we will use to find the intrinsic value, which is what? Dividend discount model. Okay. So look at this product life cycle. When do you think the firm start to pay dividend? Excuse me. Of course, right? When the firm has enough cash to pay. Enough cash to pay to the investor. Mostly will be the late growth, okay, maturity and decline, okay. So this model is called dividend discount model. So what we need to do is to discount all the expected cash that investor will receive, aka is dividend, okay. You buy common stock, you receive cash, which is dividend. Are these dividend equal? Of course not, right? Because this is variable income. So how do you find intrinsic value? Intrinsic value is again net present value of dividend, right? Discount by you using your required rate of return or RS. So what you need to do, or what you can do, is to discount dividend one by one until forever, because they are not equal, okay. But if the dividend can grow up at one constant rate G, and RS is greater than G, RS is your required rate of is greater than G, we can use Gordon growth model. Gordon growth model. Let me show you Gordon growth model first. I will come back to this page later. Gordon growth model is here. You see, P0. You look at the highlight one. P0 equals to D1, dividend at the period of 1, okay, divided by your required rate of return minus the growth rate of dividend, okay. So this one is called Gordon growth model. All right. So if G, which is dividend, can grow up at constant rate G forever, and RS greater than G, you can use Gordon growth model. So what you need to do is to find G, okay. G is the growth rate of dividend. It comes from internal growth, okay. Internal growth by using your what? Your own money or retained earning, okay. Let's assume that ROE, what is ROE? ROE is return on equity, equals to net income divided by total equity. For AA company is 16%. If the management decide to pay all the profit in dividend to stockholder, so there will be no growth internally, yes or no? There will be zero G. G will be zero because you don't use retained earning to grow up, because you pay out all of dividend to shareholders. It might become larger if the firm insists to expand business. So they have to borrow money, right, to grow the business. This one we call external growth, okay. But internal growth will come only through the retention of the profit from the retained earning, right? Retained earning. So you want to go up by yourself, you need to use retained earning. However, AA retains all the profit. The stockholders' investment in the firm would grow by what? By the amount of profit retained, or 16%, which is equal to ROE. Okay. However, management, if they keep only 50% of the profit, so the growth should be only half of 16% or 8%. So you have the formula. G is the growth rate of dividend, then will equals to what? ROE, right? ROE multiplied by retention rate. Retention rate equals to 1 minus dividend payout ratio. How many percent you keep, you pay dividend, right? So retention rate will be equals to 1 minus what? Dividend payout ratio. So you know it already. ROE equals to net income divided by total equity. BV means book value, okay? So if only 25% of the profit were retained by AA, so the growth rate will be only what? 16% ROE multiplied by 25%, right? So G will be only 4%. Okay, that is how you get G. So look at Gordon growth model again. Before you use Gordon growth model, you have to make sure, number one, G constant forever. Number two, RS greater than G. You look at quote-unquote model. If RS lower than G, P0 will become negative, right? Which is nonsense. So RS need to be greater than G, and G need to be constant forever. So you see D1, right? D1 or dividend at the end of year 1 will be equal to D0 multiplied by 2, right? 2 period, power by 2. And dt, anytime t, will be equal to d0, I'm sorry, not t, it's 0, okay? D0 multiplied by 1 plus G power by t, okay? G becomes dividend whole, which is preferred stock dividend, right? So if G you see D1 will be equal to D2, D3 until D infinity. So you get dividend divided by required rate of return. So in order to use quote-unquote model again, RS greater than G, right? And G need to be constant forever. Example, if dividend now, D0 means dividend right now, previous pay dividend, I'm sorry, previous pay dividend was $2. So investor just received $2 last time for dividend. And G is constant 6% forever. Find the expected dividend for the next 3 years and intrinsic value, right? If required rate of return is 13%. You see, if you find D1, D1 equals to what? D0, $2, right? Multiplied by 1 plus GG 6%, right? Power by 1, you get 2.12. D2, D2 equals to what? D0 multiplied by D0 multiplied by 1 plus G, right? 6% power by 2, you get 2.2472. And D3, D3 equal to D0 multiplied by 1 plus G, right? G 6% power by 3, so you get 2.3820. Okay, and you keep doing this until forever. But if you want to find the intrinsic value, you can use quote-unquote model, right? Why? Because number one, G constant 6% forever, and number two, RS 13% is greater than 6% G, right? So we can use quote-unquote model. Here is quote-unquote model. P0 equals to D1 divided by RS minus G. So you get 30.29. Okay. What about if you want to find intrinsic value at time 1, not time 0, at time 1? Again, you can also use quote-unquote model. Why? G is still constant forever and RS still greater than G. So P1 will be equals to D2. Now it's 2, right? Because we're looking for P1. Dividend needs to be 1 period ahead, okay? 1 period after. So P1 will be equals to D2 divided by RS minus G. So you get P1 32.1. If we want to find the return, again, I showed you already, the return or the rate of return will be equals to what? Dividend plus what? The capital gain, yes or no? Look at the equation. Dividend plus capital gain. This picture shows capital gain plus dividend, right? Capital gain is P1 minus P0. Okay? If we want to find rate of return, we have to divide it by P0 or the price that you buy, right? So you will get P1 minus P0 divided by P0. That is capital gain yield. Yield means return, okay? Capital gain yield plus what? Dividend divided by P0. This one we call dividend yield. So the rate of return will be equals to what? Dividend yield plus capital gain yield. So go back to the previous example. Dividend yield will be equal to what? You see D1, right? Dividend that you're about to receive at the end of period 1, 2.12 divided the price that you buy, right? P0, you calculation, you get 30.29, so dividend yield is 7%. And capital gain you already find what? P1, right? P1 is 32.1 minus P0, 30.29 divided by P0, you get 6%. So if we go to the equation, return or total return equals to dividend yield plus capital gain yield, you get 7% plus 6% or 13%, right? Which is the required rate of return from the questions. You see, required rate of return will be equals to dividend yield plus capital gain yield. But if you want to find rate of return, You see the left side of equation is intrinsic value, right? P0 equal to D1 divided by RS minus G. This is the equation to get P0 or intrinsic value. But if you are investor and you buy the stock at any price, maybe market price P0, and hold it until you get. So to find R, right? RS instead of P0. So let's look at the right hand side of equation. You can find RS by move the variables, right, to the right and the left hand side. So you get what? RS equals to D1 divided by P0 plus G. Then RS from the previous example, you get D1 2.12 divided by P0 30.29 plus G, right, 6%. Then RS also 13%. You see RS is rate of return equals to, again, you remember, dividend yield plus capital gain yield, right? So you look at this equation, right hand side of this equation, rate of return equals to D1 divided by P0. This one is dividend yield, right? Plus G. Remember G can be also equals to what? Capital gain yield. Yes or no? Because rate of return equals to dividend yield plus capital gain yield. Then G will be automatically equals to capital gain yield. If we can use Gordon-Growth model, G will be equals to capital gain yield. But if we cannot use Gordon-Growth model, why? If you cannot use Gordon-Growth, if G is not constant forever or RS is lower than G, G will not be equals to capital gain yield. Okay, because you cannot use Gordon-Growth model to get this equation. What would P0 be if G equal to 0? This is preferred stock, right? So you take the same amount of preferred stock dividend, $2 divided by R, right? 0.13. So intrinsic is $15.38. Now let's try to look at this example. If we have supernormal growth, your product might become successful with the market, so you can enjoy supernormal growth of maybe dividend for 30% for 3 years. Then a long run constant G will be at 6% forever. After the supernormal growth for the previous 3 years, 30%, right? So the G will become constant at 6%. What should be intrinsic value if interest rate is 13%? I also give you the last pay dividend $2. You cannot use Gordon-Growth model because G is not constant forever, right? But however, growth become constant after year 3. So after year 3, you can use Gordon-Growth model, right? Because G constant at 6% from year 3 to forever, and RS 30% is greater than G. So after year 3 until infinity, you can use Gordon-Growth model to find P3, okay? And to find P3. So this is what we call multi-stage. So you have to divide your timeline to be 2 sections. The first section, the first 3 years, and the second section is after year 3. You see, the first 3 years is supernormal growth, so G will be 30%, 30%, 30%, right? So D0 is last dividend $2. You got to find D1. D1 is 2.6. How do you get 2.6? D0 multiplied by 1 plus 30%, power by 1. Okay? And D2, 3.38. How do you get this number? It equals to D1, right? Multiplied by 1 plus G, 30%. Okay? You get 3.38. D3, 4.394. How do you get this number? You get D2, right? 3.38 multiplied by 1 plus 30%, right? So get 4.394. And D4, D4, now you have to change G from 30% to be 6%, right? Because after year 3, G will become constant at 6%. You get 4.394 multiplied by 1 plus 6%, right? So you get what? D4, 4.6576. So you after year 3, as I said, right? G constant at 6% forever and RS greater than G. We can use Gordon-Growth model to find intrinsic value at time 3. Okay? So P3 will then equals to D4, right? 4.65 divided by RS 13% minus G, right? G 6%. So intrinsic value at time 3 will be 66.5371. Once you discount all dividend from year 4 to forever, back to P3, back to time 3, you can forget about D4 until the infinity. Now, how many cash flow left? In order to get intrinsic value, you have D1, right? You have D2, you still have D3, and you have P3, intrinsic value at time 3. So 4 cash flow left, and then you have to discount those 4 cash flow back to time 0, one by one, okay? By using your discount rate 13%, you get intrinsic value 54.1067. What happens if G become negative 6%? Would anyone buy the stock? If so, at what price? 6%, maybe you get what? Lower dividend, right? Lower dividend growth rate. So, will anyone buy the stock? Let's try to find the value. Okay? Intrinsic value, again, quote-unquote model. You still can use quote-unquote model. Okay? G constant forever, RS greater than G. So, P0 will be equal to D1 divided by RS minus G. Okay? So D1 will be, again, D0 multiplied by 1 plus G. 1 plus G, G is negative 6%, so it will be 0.94, right? So D1 will be 1.88, right? And then divide by RS minus G. RS is 13%, minus G. G is negative 6%, so minus minus is plus, right? So you get 1.8 divided by 0.19. So you get intrinsic value at 9.89. So if you want to buy the stock, you're supposed to buy at the price lower than what? 9.89, right? Because intrinsic is 9.89. If you buy at the price lower than that, you buy undervalued stocks, right? And if your calculation is correct, your prediction is correct, the market price should move up to your intrinsic value or 9.89. So you get capital gain yield equal to negative 6%, right? Or capital loss 6%, but you get dividend yield equal to what? 13%. Minus 6% equals to 19%. How do you get this dividend yield equation? Remember, rate of return equals to dividend yield plus capital gain yield. So even though you get capital loss 6%, but if the company compensate you with more dividend payment or dividend yield 19%, it will bring the total rate of return equal to 13%. Okay, 13%. So look at quote-unquote model again. So this one is P0 or V intrinsic value will be equals to D1 divided by RS minus G. So look at the variables that impact the value. We have what? D, right? Most recent dividend, D0, required rate of return, RCS, and G, expected rate of growth in future dividend, G. If D increase dividend, more dividend, higher dividend, we will increase, right? You like to get more dividend. If you like to get the stock that pay more dividend, so you buy stock, you buy more. Someone, the others will also buy the stock, so the value will be up, right? And required rate of return RS, if RS increase, we will decrease, right? Look at the math. If RS increase, we will decrease. Why? If the firm or the stock has higher risk, maybe bad management, whatever, right? Borrow a lot of money, RCS will become higher. So you require more than what they can provide to you, right? So you will start to sell the share, and we will be decreased. Okay. What about G? Dividend growth rate. If the growth rate of dividend is higher, so you expect to get more and more dividend, right? So you love, let's say you love to get more and more money. You buy more stocks, right? If you buy more stock, VCS will increase. Look at the math. If G increase, the denominator will decrease, right? If the denominator decrease, the V will increase. Okay. just like this one, right? This example, the base case scenario is G 5%, RS 10%. You get intrinsic 40. But if G, you see G increase, growth rate of dividend increase to be 6%, what happened? With the same RS, you get more intrinsic value. It goes to 50, right? At the same time, if you keep G constant at 5% and your required rate of return increase from 10% to be 11%, intrinsic will drop to be 33.33. Okay, this is the example. So you have to, as investor, you need to be careful about these variables, right? Because this variable can be changing all the time and will give you the impact of your intrinsic value. So what should be the weakness for dividend discount model? The weakness, the biggest weakness for this model is, let's say, the firm never pay dividend at all. If the firm never pay dividend because they want to keep the money to go up, does it mean those firm value is zero? No, not at all, right? Because they want to keep their own money to reinvest. It doesn't mean the value is zero, right? So if they don't pay dividend, it means what? You cannot use DDM or dividend discount model. Because if you use DDM, the value will always be zero. Why? Look at quote-unquote model, right? Intrinsic value equal to what? Dividend, right? Dividend divided by R minus G. If dividend is zero, so it brings the whole thing zero, right? Which is nonsense. For the introduction stage firm, maybe the initial growth firm, they don't pay dividend. It doesn't mean their value are zeros. So not only you use dividend discount model, which is one of the discount cash flow technique, right? But you also can do something else like relative valuation technique. Okay, the method that I will teach you is to use the multiples or PE ratio. Okay, PE ratio multiples.